Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really big question. How do you take a piece of raw, empty land and turn it into the property of your dreams? Well, as we're about to see, it all comes down to one absolutely critical move: hiring the perfect team for the job. So, you've got the deed in hand, you're standing on your own piece of earth, and you have this incredible vision. It's an amazing feeling, right? But that excitement can pretty quickly turn into feeling overwhelmed. The whole journey from a blank canvas to a finished home, it really starts with one make or break decision: who you choose as your contractor.
To make this whole process way less intimidating, we've broken it down into 4 clear stages. First, we'll cover the essential prep work. Then, we'll get into the search for your expert. After that, we'll lock in the official agreement. And finally, we'll walk through how to manage the project right up to the finish line.
All right, let's jump right in. Before you even think about calling a contractor, you need a rock-solid plan. Seriously, think of this as the foundation for your actual foundation. If you get this part right, everything else just falls into place so much more smoothly. This first stage is basically a reality check. It's where your big, beautiful vision for the property has to meet the physical, dirt under your fingernails reality of the land itself. You've got to clearly define exactly what you want to do and then run some key tests to see what's even possible. Being specific is your best friend here. Are we just clearing some trees and leveling the ground? Or are we talking a new driveway, running utilities, digging a well? Every little detail matters, because a fuzzy plan almost always leads to a bloated budget and a never-ending timeline. Trust me, the more you sweat the details now, the less you'll sweat during the actual build.
And then, you have the potential deal breakers, the land assessments. We're talking about things like soil tests, and this one is huge: percolation tests. A perk test basically tells you if the ground can absorb water well enough for a septic system. It sounds super technical, I know, but skipping this step can turn into an absolute financial nightmare down the road. Okay, so you've got your detailed plan ready to go. Now you're ready for the next massive step: finding the right person to actually bring this whole thing to life. This is where your research skills are really going to pay off. This whole search really breaks down into 3 critical moves. First, you've got to find people who are specialists in this kind of work. Second, you'll need to get detailed bids from them. And finally, the moment of truth. You're going to dig into their references and see what their past clients have to say.
Now here is a super important distinction. Not all builders are the same. A general contractor who's amazing at building suburban homes might be completely out of their depth when you throw the challenges of raw land at them. You are looking for a specialist, someone who speaks the language of excavation, site prep, and off-grid systems.
So what should be on your checklist for this specialist? Well, a portfolio that's packed with vacant land projects is a must. They need to really get the unique challenges of rural construction, and this is crucial. They need to know the local permitting process for undeveloped land inside and out. And, of course, they have to be fully licensed and insured. No exceptions. When those quotes start rolling in, please do not just skip to the bottom line price. That's like judging a book by its cover. You need to ask for an itemized breakdown of all the costs. It is the only way you can truly compare apples to apples and understand exactly what you're paying for. And when you call those references, go deeper than just, "So, were you happy?" Ask them the nightmare scenario question. Something like, when something inevitably went wrong, because it always does, how did the contractor handle it? Their answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know. Okay, now we're at the point where a simple handshake just isn't going to cut it. It's time to make it official. Getting everything down in writing isn't about a lack of trust. It's about creating clarity for everyone. And, most importantly, protecting your investment. There are 2 steps here that are completely non-negotiable. First, you have to personally verify their credentials. Don't take their word for it. And second, you need to treat that contract like the serious legal document it is. Read every single word. So when you're checking those credentials, you're looking for way more than just a business license. You need to see proof of insurance, specifically general liability, which covers accidents on your property, and workers' compensation, so you're not on the hook if one of their crew gets hurt. Think of a good contract as the official rulebook for your project. It needs to spell out the exact scope of work, a project timeline, and a payment schedule that's tied to progress milestones. And you absolutely want to have those what-if clauses for unexpected surprises, like hitting a patch of super rocky soil. The contract is signed, and now the most exciting part begins: watching your vision actually take shape. But your job isn't over. Now you get to transition into a new role: project manager.
So your mission, should you choose to accept it, has three key parts: keeping in constant communication with your contractor, regularly monitoring the progress on site, and doing one final eagle-eyed inspection before you even think about writing that last check. You should think of regular site visits as your project's early warning system. They're your chance to catch a small misunderstanding before it morphs into a giant, expensive mistake. And if your property is far away, these visits are absolutely essential.
And while you're there, become a bit of a documentarian. Take photos of everything. It's a great record to have. And for those really big ticket items, like the foundation or the septic system, you might even want to hire an independent inspector. It's a small price to pay for some serious peace of mind.
And now, the moment of truth, the final walkthrough. This is not a casual stroll around the property. This is your last chance to make sure every single detail in that contract has been fulfilled to your satisfaction. Don't even think about making that final payment until you are 100% happy. Look, it's a detailed process, there's no doubt about it. But by being this thorough at every single stage, you're not just avoiding future headaches, you are actively building value and turning a simple piece of land into a lasting legacy. So there you have it. You now have the complete roadmap. The foundation is laid, not just in the ground with concrete, but in all the careful planning you've done. So really, the only question left is, what amazing dream will you build on it?